I was 32 years old when I finally admitted the truth out loud. My sister had stolen everything I worked for, and my parents took her side. And for years, I kept silent about the pain, until the damage became too heavy to carry. But before all this happened, before the betrayal and the heartbreak, before lawyers got involved and money vanished overnight, we were just two sisters growing up in a tiny suburban home in Maple Ridge, Oregon. And I genuinely thought we loved each other. My sister Claire was 2 years younger than me, beautiful, sweet, and adored by everyone. If I sneezed, my mom would ask why I was making noise. If Claire sneezed, my mom would rush a glass of warm lemon water to her bedside like royalty. My dad acted the same way. From the time we were children, I learned a subtle truth. I had to earn love. Claire simply received it. But I didn't resent her. I just learned to work harder. And that became my entire personality. Work, achieve, prove myself, repeat. I was 14 when I discovered the thing that would change my life: baking. My grandmother taught me how to make cinnamon rolls that melted in your mouth. Everyone who tasted them said the same thing. You could build a business with these. I believed them. While other kids spent their afternoons hanging out, I spent mine practicing recipes, burning my palms on oven racks, and saving every dollar I earned from babysitting and cleaning neighbors' basements. At 16, I turned our garage into a mini bakery. At 18, I sold pastries to local cafes. At 22, I signed a loan to start my first real bakery. And at 24, it became one of the most popular bakeries in our city. People said I was a sensation. They didn't know I barely slept. They didn't know I was working 16 hours a day. They didn't know I was building something I hoped my parents would finally be proud of. Sometimes they were. But whenever Claire walked into the room, the spotlight shifted like a magnet. She had a glow, the kind that people fall for instantly. But it wasn't her beauty that destroyed everything. It was her charm. Claire never cared about academics. She drifted from one hobby to another: acting, yoga, painting. Nothing stuck. So when she turned 25 and announced she wanted to run a business, my parents said, "Why don't you let Claire help you? You're already successful. You should lift your sister up." I hesitated. Claire was irresponsible. Claire was impulsive. Claire was Claire. But she was my sister. And I loved her. So against my instincts, I said yes. I made her a minor partner, mostly for her pride. I didn't expect her to contribute much. I simply wanted her to feel included. I didn't know I was handing her the weapon she would use to destroy me. At first, everything seemed fine. Claire came to work smiling, acting helpful. Customers loved her. She had a way with people, something I lacked. But soon the small cracks appeared. She started buying expensive supplies we didn't need, taking money from the business for marketing, hosting parties in the bakery after hours. I confronted her privately at first. "Claire, this is not how we run things." She rolled her eyes. "You're so controlling. I'm trying to help." The next month, she requested to handle our business finances. My parents pressured me. "She's your sister, trust her." That was the theme of my life. Trust her, forgive her, support her, understand her. So I gave her access. 2 months later, I realized she had transferred $42,600 to an account I didn't recognize. When I confronted her, she smiled casually. "It's still our money. I just moved it for accounting reasons." My heart dropped. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I still tried to believe in her. That was my mistake. I didn't know it then, but Claire had been planning something bigger. Much bigger. One morning, I walked into the bakery and saw a government notice taped to the door. Establishment closed pending investigation. I felt my stomach collapse. Inside, I saw health inspectors, accountants, and 2 uniformed officers. Apparently, someone had reported numerous violations. Wrongful bookkeeping, unpaid staff overtime, tax inconsistencies, unlicensed food storage, all traced back to my name. But it wasn't me. It was Claire. She had kept sloppy records, moved funds, ignored calls from suppliers, mismanaged inventory. But when investigators asked her about it, she burst into tears, full Oscar-worthy performance. She bullied me. She forced me to sign things. I was too scared to speak. And my parents, they stood behind her, holding her like she was the victim. I was too stunned to defend myself. I just kept whispering, "Claire, why are you lying?" But she wouldn't look at me. 2 weeks later, I discovered the final blow. Claire had filed legal documents, stating I had mentally pressured her, isolated her, and mishandled the business. She wanted full ownership of everything I built. My bakery, my recipes, my brand, my savings, my investments. Her lawyer claimed that since she was a major contributor and I was unstable, she deserved controlling rights. She even attached my childhood therapy records to portray me as emotionally unfit. I felt betrayed in a way I didn't know was possible. My own sister, my own parents supporting her. It was a nightmare unfolding in slow motion. I lost the bakery. I lost the investors. I lost my savings. I lost my reputation. Friends avoided me, believing Claire's story. Neighbors whispered when I passed. I had to move out of my apartment because I couldn't pay rent. For the first time in my life, I felt truly alone. One night, lying on an air mattress in a tiny studio, I sobbed until I couldn't breathe. I asked myself, how do you survive betrayal from the people you love the most? I didn't have the answer. But life wasn't done with me yet. 6 months later, the truth began unraveling. A former employee came forward with emails Claire had sent, emails admitting she moved money intentionally. An accountant exposed the suspicious transfers. A cafe owner revealed a conversation where Claire bragged about taking over the business soon. Slowly, piece by piece, the truth surfaced. Investigators reopened the case. Claire's lies fell apart like wet tissue paper. But the damage to me had already been done. The bakery was gone, sold to cover debts Claire secretly created. I didn't get it back, but I got something else. Closure. I moved to Seattle, changed my phone number, found a small job at a quiet cafe. For months, I avoided the past. Then one afternoon, a customer tasted a cookie I made and said, "Why on earth aren't you running your own bakery?" And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel pain at the question. I felt possibility. I saved money quietly, worked extra shifts, created new recipes. And then, 2 years after losing everything, I opened a small bakery called Second Rise. It was a symbolic name because that's what I was doing. Rising again. People loved it, not because of the drama behind my past, but because the food reminded them of home. Within a year, it became more successful than my first bakery ever was. This time, I hired a real accountant, a real lawyer, a real manager, and I kept the business entirely in my name. I learned the hardest lesson. Family should not automatically mean trust. Trust is earned, especially from those capable of betrayal. Last winter, after years of silence, Claire showed up at my bakery. looking thinner, a little lost, a bit older. She stepped inside quietly and said, "I need help." Apparently, the investors she stole money from were suing her. My parents were financially drained from supporting her. And for the first time, Claire realized the consequences of her actions. She asked if I could loan her money, or hire her, or just talk. I looked at her for a long time. My heart no longer burned with anger, just exhaustion. I said, "Claire, I forgive you, but I don't trust you, and I can't let you anywhere near my life again." She cried, but this time I didn't feel guilty. She had taken enough from me. I wasn't giving her anything more. Today, I'm finally free. My business is thriving. I sleep peacefully at night. I have friends who love me. And I no longer break myself trying to earn love that was never meant for me. My parents, we're cordial but never close. And my sister, she became the greatest lesson of my life. Some people don't destroy you because they hate you. They destroy you because you let them get too close. But healing is possible. Rebuilding is possible. And rising after betrayal is not only possible, it's powerful.